Storyside presents Blue Sky Mansion, narrated by me, Leonie Koh. Part 1. China, 1910. 1. The Honoree. The children were mesmerized. In the cavernous crypt below ground, Mei Choon and Wan Li were drawn to the images of horses chasing each other. A cylinder of silk slowly twirled in front of them, driven by rising hot air from the oil burner of the lantern. On the translucent silk were painted images of running horses. The steeds, splendid with their flying manes and tails, were white, red, brown, and black. Their legs were poised in full gallop. Wan Li had caught a glimpse of the lantern earlier on, but in its unlit state, the contraption had been unremarkable. However, when lit, the images of the horses appeared in sharp contrast to the surface of the lantern. What's more, the horses were running. Enraptured, the children were hardly aware that the ceremonies going on above ground were drawing to a close. It was the sharp shrill of Teochew trumpets that abruptly broke their attention. Startled, the children froze and looked at each other. "What's that?" Mei Choon asked. Both Mei Choon and Wan Li's heads turned towards the direction where a shaft of light was pouring through the doorway at the top of the steps, some 30 feet away. As their eyes adjusted to the glare from the entrance, a few seconds passed before they came to a realization. Was it their imagination? Or was the shaft of light radiating from the entrance slowly getting narrower? Mei Choon gasped. "I think they're closing the doors. Quick, we have to get out now." Even before Wan Li could react, Mei Choon was already dragging the boy by his arm. They raced across the hall towards the bottom of the stairs. Looking up the 24 stone steps, there was no longer any doubt about what was happening. The shaft of light beaming down the stairway was narrowing to a slit. "Run!" Just 5 hours earlier, Tang Mei Choon had been playing for most of the morning with Wan Li, a boy of her age who had arrived at the Pan mansion for the same reason that she had. Holding a half-eaten pork dumpling in her hand, Mei Choon ran, laughing, to her mother, Chin Si, who was seated beside their neighbor, Third Auntie Chang. Third Auntie Chang, who was Chin Si's confidant, had accompanied mother and daughter to the Pan house. She smiled at Chin Si, who shook her head resignedly at the mess on Mei Choon's face, and wiped away the dumpling gravy from the corner of her daughter's lips with a handkerchief. "Such fun!" Mei Choon exclaimed, looking up at her mother before running off to chase Wan Li, who was darting between the chairs and tables set up for the grand reception. It was by far the largest celebration that the city of Chongqing had seen in years. For the little girl, it was the most exciting thing in the world. There was so much to eat, and of course, there was also the beautiful new red dress she was wearing, which had a high mandarin collar, knotted buttons, and elaborate embroidery. Mei Choon had seen this very same dress in a shop window 2 months back when her mother, seeking better prices in the city, had taken Mei Choon with her to sell the vegetables and eggs from their farm. Chin Si had seen how Mei Choon had adoringly looked at the dress in the shop. Yet, putting food on the table was already an onerous challenge. New clothing would have to wait. Even at her tender age, Mei Choon knew there were people who were rich and others who were like themselves. Rich people lived in big houses. They dressed well, ate meat and fish every day, and traveled in horse-drawn carriages. For Mei Choon and her...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?